So here we are over halfway through January. How are you doing on your New Year's resolutions? Still going to the gym, eating right, on schedule with your Bible reading? I don't mean to nag. Do you know why we make those resolutions? It's because we want to be better humans. We want to be better spouses, parents, children, friends, better Christians. But despite our best efforts, our resolutions, if we're being honest, they don't always work. Well, there's this great story in Genesis that might help. Uh, might help us be better, might help us do better. Involves a man named Abram, or as he's better known, Abraham. You can read the details for yourself, but in Genesis chapter 12, I'm telling you, Abraham is not a good human being. He is anxious, he's faithless, he's prayerless, he's dishonest, he's self-centered, manipulative, willing to sacrifice others to save his own sorry skin, takes matters into his own hands, and profits by deception. He is not someone you'd want to befriend or be married to or meet at a family reunion or do business with or pattern your life after. He's just not a good person. But in Genesis chapter 13, all of that changes. Abraham becomes a better human. And again, you can read the details for yourself, but he is completely altered. For every negative thing you can say about him in Genesis 12, there are three good things to say about him in Genesis 13. And I want to know why. Maybe the thing that altered Abraham was an altar. See, back in those days, an altar was a stone or a pile of stones people erected to memorialize an encounter with God. When Genesis 13:4, Abraham returned to an altar he had built earlier to commemorate God's promise. Remembering God's promise meant that Abraham didn't have anything to prove or anything to fear. The altar altered him because it reminded him of God's promise. And with that promise now fresh again in his mind, in chapter 13, he's able to respond to conflict with grace. He's able to face the unexpected with inexplicable peace. When resources are limited, he's able to imagine the possibility of provision. The altar reminded him of the promise, and the promise altered his ego. He was empowered to let others go first, to give away instead of grasp, to be magnanimous instead of manipulative. The altar made him a better human. Now, you and I don't have a pile of stones to remind us of God's promise and provision. We have something better. We have a hilltop cross, an empty tomb. And the cross means that we have nothing to prove. And the empty tomb means we have nothing to fear. Returning to those two altars often, that can make us better humans. Not a sermon, just a thought.